All right, here we are with My Greek Guru on a Memorial Day celebration, talking with one John Edgman. John Edgman, give us the name of your fraternity, where you went to school, and we'll talk a little bit about some of what you did in college.
Yeah, I was in Theta Chi fraternity at Georgia Tech from 1995 to 1999, and when I was in school, we drank Nat Light, and I had so much fun at my fraternity parties. I'm still drinking Natural Light.
That's nice. So your natural life for life. Can you tell me, did you hold any office in your fraternity?
Yeah, I did. I was a secretary, house manager, kitchen manager, and I can't remember the rest.
All right, so at no point were you the social chair, though. So did you ever have anything to do with the entertainment?
I knew the social chairman, of course. He was one of the cool dudes in the fraternity, so yeah, everybody always knew him. It was kind of a popularity thing to get elected social chairman. And yeah, I knew him because we all wanted to give the input, and we probably spent half of our budget on parties.
Nice. All right, so being that this is like 96-ish, so we've got the Olympics to contend with, Atlanta's popping, like how big was Theta Chi going with its parties back in the late 90s?
We were okay. We tried to be cool, you know. I mean, it is at Georgia Tech, so. But we had some parties, but then there's 32 fraternities on Georgia Tech campus, and so we had a lot of competition on any given weekend. So, yeah, we're trying to have the loudest, best fraternity because there was usually about 6 parties on any given weekend, so we wanted to be the best. And, yeah, we would have a party, and we would have them outside so the whole campus could hear it. And
what about genre? So nowadays we see a lot of EDM, a lot of hip-hop. Back in the late 90s, what was happening in Atlanta, Georgia?
We like cover bands, you know, the 80s music, maybe a little early 90s music, and jam bands, I guess you'd call it. And
so jam bands and cover bands primarily?
Yeah, that's what we like, too. The ones you could jump up and down, the drunken sing-alongs.
Nice. Well, here you go, guys. We have drunken sing-alongs, jam bands, cover bands, and it was more of a popularity contest at Georgia Tech in the late 90s. John Edgman, thanks for your time here. Anything you'd like to share with us about your glory days at Tech before we go? I mean, today. How old are you today, John Edgman?
Yeah, I'm 40, so yeah.
Have you experienced the best of times or the best times yet to come?
Yeah, they say college is the best time of your life, but I've had fun. Probably in mid-20s was pretty action-packed, and yeah, today's actually the best day of my life. But college got me on board to know how to have a good time.
All right, My Greek Guru signing off. My Greek Guru back here at Lake Blackshear on Memorial Day weekend, rehashing the glory days with one Terrence Duncan. Terrence, can you tell us what fraternity and what school did you attend?
I was a Fiji Phi Gamma Delta at Auburn University.
And what was your time frame here?
Let's see, 98 through 2002.
All right. So Auburn University, 98 through 2002. I'm thinking there's probably a heavy jam band presence here. Then what kind of parties were y'all throwing?
We did. We had jam bands, cover bands, country bands. I remember some great country bands. We had some good cover bands too. Michael Jackson cover, some other good cover bands.
So as far as like your fraternity's pecking order, like where did y'all stand at Auburn? Were y'all like at the top, around the middle tier?
I'd say towards the top for sure, 100%. I think that probably still stands true today. We got a good tradition over there.
All right, so let me ask you this. Being a top tier fraternity at the University of Auburn, did you guys just kind of get a pass? I mean, were y'all so big you didn't have to throw huge parties, or did you feel the need to impress?
No, we didn't feel the need to impress. I think that we just we had some great parties. I'd say some of the best parties.
All right, could you elaborate on maybe the best party? Do you have any recollection?
We had a party called Fiji Island, which was a big hit, and it was always a huge production. A lot of work went into it. We cut down like trees as big as that sweet gum up there. You know, big trees. I mean, it was a big production. A lot of fun.
They do that nationally. I mean, Fiji's everywhere do that, right?
They do. They do it nationally. But I think ours was probably one of the better ones overall nationally even.
Do you remember like any of the entertainment that came to perform?
I remember that that we had cover bands, and but I don't remember who in particular. But I remember it was always a great time, and it was an outdoor event, and a lot of our events were outdoors. Although we did have many indoors, but all very fun.
So let me ask you, an Auburn grad who can remember the best of times, what are you doing now? Where are you now? How old are you? When was this?
37 years old now. Live back here in Americus, Georgia, with a 2.5-year-old child.
Anything you would share with maybe a Fiji at Auburn today? Just some words of wisdom.
Some words of wisdom. I would just say study hard and have a good time, but definitely hit the books hard. But have a good time too, and enjoy yourself, because once you get out, it's amazing. Everybody's going to tell you that, but you just need to go ahead and live it up while you can. Don't have too much fun. Study hard. And
all right, My Greek Guru back at Lake Blackshear for another Memorial Day special of the Glory Days. I'm sitting here with one Justin Arnold. Justin, can you tell me, where did you attend school and what fraternity were you in?
I went to Millsaps College in Jackson, Mississippi, and I was a member of Sigma Alpha Epsilon. So
all right, SAE. That's big dogs right there.
It was a good time. There were only 5 or 6 fraternities in the whole school, so we all were a good close-knit group.
And what was your time frame?
This was 98 to 2002.
All right. So, give me the backdrop. It's 1998. What are people listening to in Mississippi?
Lots of country music. It was, right between Memphis and New Orleans, so you had a lot of the New Orleans rap songs for, party nights and things like that. But jam bands and country music, just really everything.
Nice. So I guess give me a little insights into some of the more funky hip-hop that you might have been into. We don't hear as much about that from our Glory Days interviews. So can you elaborate on that?
Well, I didn't really care for it too much, but I, it was just very present as far as all the different Master P and different kinds of things that was going on from New Orleans.
No Limit?
All the No Limit stuff back then.
Were you a No Limit soldier?
I was not. I was actually probably still a kind of anti-hip-hop for the most part, but it's just.
Does it make you say,
No. That's it. Yeah, that's not like I said, again, not my cup of tea. But it's just it got girls to the house, and that was a good thing.
So much has not changed. I think anybody could say that about hip hop today. It gets girls to the house. So, what is your cup of tea?
I was much more rock music and jam bands and things like that. I was much more into those kinds of things.
So, any highlights you could share with us about what you had at your fraternity house?
Well, at the fraternity house, it was mostly cover bands and lots of things like that. But the school itself, we had a lot of different bands come to the school. It's like I said, again, smaller college, so a lot of the different groups and things. It was the Millsaps majors, and so it was major. Everything was major something. And Major Productions was the school group to put different things on. So we had Violent Films and Run DMC. This was even these were bigger groups in the '80s, but 20 years later.
Yeah, I mean that's like we'd call it a heritage act now, but that's still a big name to have at your college. So, of the lot, any stories you care to share?
We had like with Sunvolt and Run DMC, and then George Clinton came and played. That he it was like a 3-hour-long show, and he was there for like the last 30 minutes of it. And
so wait, he sent his band in, and then he came in to close it out.
It was a great show. It was one of those things that you're never going to forget a George Clinton experience where you've got guys playing around in diapers, playing the bass, and all the rest of it. But going to see them was a pretty crazy experience. I was helping with the Major Production stuff, so we actually got to go on the George Clinton tour bus there at the end of the night. And
you got it, yeah. Just elaborate on what a George Clinton tour bus experience is like.
It's if you think of some kind of just crazy bacchanalian zany nastiness. Everything that you think could happen at a party happened.
Were people dressed like this? Were they wearing diapers?
Diapers and lots of things. It was a pretty crazy thing to see what all was going on. I was a good little boy, but seeing what all was going on was pretty eye-opening.
Now, Justin, as an adult, as a man of the law, is there any wisdom you could share with any of your brethren today, any SAEs anywhere, but especially in Mississippi?
Well, it's college is a unique place where you're able to have a lot of fun in a relatively protected space as far as dealing with it. So it's certainly I think everybody else has said have fun, but it's a balance with all of it. You've got things to do, but it's absolutely the time to have as much fun as you can.
So drink hard, but set an alarm clock. You heard it here from Justin Arnold. Justin Arnold did not say that. Listen, thank you for your time. Any words in closing?
Peace out.
You heard it. My Greek Guru signing out. Take care of your business.